website on Ko-Fi or Kofi or Coffee, or I don't know how you pronounce this, but it's Ko-Fi with a dash.com/reality forecast. And here I post about my ongoing healing issues and a bunch of different things. And there's lots of people that email me and say, Mr. Reality, what's happening in the presidential election? To which I say, well, there's a lot that's going on, and it's time for us to unpack it. So, what I wanted to do is talk to you about what I've done as a remote viewer in the past and what I've done in the future. And at the end, I'm going to tell you who wins the presidential election next month. I've done a lot of remote viewing on it. I've done a lot of personality profiling on it. In the past, as a remote viewer, we looked at who won the election in 2020. And we didn't qualify win. We didn't qualify won. We didn't qualify the winner. We just said who's going to win the election. And a lot of viewers got conflicting information. A lot of viewers got that one candidate won over the other candidate. We're not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about how I change things now to prevent that kind of hiccup in the data. So instead of looking at the winner of the 2024 United States presidential election, we looked at the seated president in March 15th of 2025. So instead of looking at the winner, whatever the legal courts decide, whatever battles happen, we wanted to make sure that we moved ahead past the controversy, moved into next year, moved past the inauguration after things had a chance to settle down and find out who the winner was. We also looked at the personalities of both of the primary candidates. There are other people running for president, but let's be honest, they're not going to get the votes. It's down to one or two candidates in the Democratic and the Republican ticket. Despite how you feel, despite what anger you may have towards either candidate, that's okay. Put it aside. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you angry about someone who you've never met. So just let all that anger go and enjoy this little relaxation about what I'm going to tell you remote viewing can do. Remote viewing can predict the future, and it can do so with probabilities, but it also can do so if you write the wrong thing in your queue, which is what we've done in the past. So we revised the queue to look ahead in the future. And I also had a couple of viewers that work with me do personality profiles. So it's something that I do for investigative teams, legal. I've done this to profile potential jurors for lawyers. It gives you an idea of what that person is thinking without actually talking to the person, without actually even knowing the person. So my remote viewers, they went ahead in time into, well, I had them do a 5 months out in 2025 and look at what each of these candidates, the primary candidates, felt about the event in those months. And there was relief, there was anger, there was disgust, and it proved to us that we had to look at things in a couple of different ways, not just the winner, but the seated president at a future date. So we're going to look at the two candidates here, Kamala Harris, Democrat from California, running with Tim Walz, and the Donald Trump, Republican from Florida, running with J.D. Vance. Now, I didn't look at any of the electoral colleges because, those things are sometimes in flux with different legal maneuvers happening in the courts, and whether it goes to the Supreme Court as it has in the past. I didn't want to be bogged down by the weight of all of that because we might not even know on November 5th who the president is of the United States. And that happened for a couple of days, even after the last election. So it's going to take more time for them to unpack, for them to count those votes, and for them to make a final determination and a weigh-in as to who the final candidate will be to lead this great nation. So the remote viewers came back with a consensus. And sometimes we get a couple of remote viewers that turn one way, a couple of remote viewers that turn another way. And I want to say none of the remote viewers were aware of the fact that they were remote viewing the presidential election, neither in the personality profile nor in the forecast for the future. And we did that with associative remote viewing. We did that with a couple of different ways. That there was some debate about the Donald Trump being removed from the office in Oregon. I went to the website, and according to Reuters, the Donald Trump team did not submit their ballot profile and their $3,500 to put them on this ballot. But if you dig deeper into the Oregon website, it does have Donald Trump and JD Vance as Republican, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as the Democrat, plus Robert F. Kennedy. I guess he's still there. I don't know what the date of this is, September 5th. So as of September 5th, Robert Kennedy. This form is what they're proclaiming on Reuters. So whether that's true or not, I'm not sure. But I'm now willing to tell you who is the next president of the United States. And the next president of the United States will be Donald J. Trump. Reality forecast on October 18th, 2024, is now predicting and projecting that Donald Trump will be the once and future president of the United States of America. So, to all of those of you out there might have an issue with it, well, I'm sorry. But please get out there and vote, speak your mind. And I just wanted to let you know what a lot of work in remote viewing had gotten me to, and that answer. This doesn't reflect my opinions. This doesn't reflect the remote viewers' opinions that worked on this project. This is just the reality of the situation. And here at Reality Forecast, that's what I focus on. The true reality, not what we believe, not what we think, not what other people are telling us, but the truth.